can two walk together except they be in agreement? When you have partners that are separate like this, when it comes to gambling, of course, it can mean a lot of things, but we'll stick to gambling. In other words, if you've got this going on in one area of your marriage, you probably got other things going on in other areas of your marriage. By the way, who am I? The world's #1 problem gambling interventionist, Stockton, California, Santos Jr. We do the Power Talk and Your Solution on Sundays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. And I'm here to just share a little bit, encourage the couples that come to this video here. You're married. Listen, I don't believe in divorce. I've been married 25 years. Have I gone through fucking shit? Have I gone through a lot of difficulties in my marriage? You bet I have. At one time, I lost my children for almost a year. They took our children away from us because we were so fucked up. I'm not going to go there, but we did get our children back. We had to go through a lot of counseling and parenting classes. This was 15, 20 years ago. Was it? Yeah, 22 years ago. We've grown, we've come a long way, Sherry and I. And we still have differences, but here's the thing. When it comes to gambling and it comes to your marriage, you have to keep, and I'm not going to judge you. If you're here watching this video and you want to continue gambling, that's your business. You can continue bleeding and hemorrhaging if you want to. That's your business. I'm not going to judge you. I'll help you if you come to me. I will help you. But I've been there. I know what it's like to bleed all over the place. And I know what it's like to walk around with a piece of your ass taken out too. Because you know what? When gambling bites a chunk out of your ass, that's what it feels like. You'll walk around with it. You'll always remember that. Fucking chunk of my ass is missing. You both need to be in communion. You both need to be in order for a union to survive very effectively, you both have to be in full control of each. You have to be in control of your life. He has to be in control. She has to be in control of her life. In other words, you got to work on the emotional intelligence kind of stuff, mind mastery kind of stuff. You have to kind of work on that, because too many people go in the marriages and they're just carrying their Samsonite luggage, right? That really nice Samsonite luggage that's full of garbage. They call it baggage, right? Some people call it baggage. I call it the Samsonite luggage. You open that thing up and it stinks. And we open those things up in our lives. There comes a point where you got to get a new suitcase, my friend. You got to get a new Samsonite. You cannot continue carrying that Samsonite that looks really good. It's got the little locks on it, little thing on it. Carry that around, and no, you got to get rid of that, because that every time that you open that thing, it smells like a dead body in there. Nobody wants to be around that, man. I used to open mine up all the time. Anyhow, it's not about I got a brand new S.O.S.M, the mission. Anyhow, the marriage is sacred. It needs to be protected. You need to fight for your marriage, and the communication level between both partners needs to be worked on. That is a study. There needs to be research. There needs to be excavation into that. There needs to be exploration. There needs to be seed planting into that area. I believe in all the problems, money and communication would be the two. But communication would be #1, I believe, for me. Man, this thing's moving around like... Okay. Anyhow. Communicate. If you can't do that, if you're having a struggle, first of all, you got to get victory in your life. You're going to have to get support. There is counseling out there. There's some really, really good counseling. There's some really good marriage coaches. I do a little bit of coaching myself. Obviously, I am a life coach. But you got to get a hold of this. You got to get the tools. You got to get the support. And you got to maintain yourself into a community. You must. Man, it's 2021, 2022. It's getting more difficult for marriages. It's getting more difficult for relationships that really want to make things work. It's getting difficult for businesses that don't know how to communicate, interact with other human beings. As a matter of fact, I've been studying the 7 human evolutionary needs. The 7 human evolutionary needs are really interesting. You can Google that. This is what it takes. It's a win, and it's in the mind. The African proverb says, if there be no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. Proverbs 18, I believe it's 20, says death and life are in the power of the tongue. They that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. What will you do with this little bit of knowledge I just shared with you? Will you run with it? Will you practice it? Will you share it? Think about what I shared with you. Something I have to work on every single day. Who am I? The world's #1 problem gambling interventionist, Santos Rolon Jr., Stockton, California, the founder of the Soldiers of Self-Mastery movement. You'll catch me live on broadcasts right here on YouTube on Wednesdays, Sundays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays also. I'll see you at the top on the inside on my next one, my friend. It takes courage for you to be you, and it takes courage for you to follow me. See you at the top on the inside, soldiersofselfmastery.com.